Testing 1, 2.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to VP4TV. I started the stream and I noticed that my little mic symbol on my XSplit broadcaster software and also my speaker symbol were both dark. So therefore, when I tried to use my shortcut keys to open them up, nothing would work. So I had to do a restart. I don't know, just probably another bug that's actually an XSplit. Anyway, the good news is Tommy has showed up. Well, at least I saw him in the lobby a second ago, unless he's disappeared already. Or was I imagining that I saw him? No, his name is there. But I do not see him. He hasn't just come online to... Oh, no, there he is. He's in a room. Right, so he's in trying to get some practice. He's not going to get much time. But what we do have is two players who got a bye in the first round in this year's 2025 Virtual Cowboy World Championship. So this is going to be a chance to look over Coldest Pillow. He's been getting practice in Cowboy. Tommyy, I've got no idea where he's at because like Mark Shark earlier in the day, he hasn't been around for a long time, and Tommyy doesn't really spend any time in VP4 other than taking time to come in and try and play in a tournament like this. So we've no idea whether Tommy's ever played Cowboy, knows what he's doing, knows the rules even. But we should get a fair idea of that once this starts. So we have this match tonight, and on the schedule was updated earlier. We have the matches that were already there, but the last one that was added was the MC Clarkey Larry match, which is going to take place Wednesday night, for anybody who doesn't know. So there's some good matches lined up. And all the ones that are actually lined up are actually on the winner's side. And this one tonight is a winner's side match. So round 2 match it is because of the bye for both of these players. So we have Coldest Pillow representing Wales, Tommyy representing Germany. Welcome to Run Out Rob, welcome to Cobra, and anybody else that's out there that is interested. So, I think, difficult to choose a winner, but if you're going to go by table time, then Coldest Pillow wins this every day of the week. How it goes as a game and how they play the game, that's a different story. We'll have to watch and judge that. Welcome to Hazard. So no doubt that, Scotty Scheffler was playing his second to the green on the 18th, so he will be preparing, he'll be handing in his scorecard right now, and they'll be already engraving his name on the trophy. So he will be the champion golfer for 2025, and he's now the guy to beat because he is such a strong player. Another one on the trail after Tiger. But one stat that not a lot of people probably know, but golfers probably do, but when you think about Tiger Woods, he was trying to keep himself fit to try and chase down Jack's record, and it looks more and more likely that he ain't going to be able to do that. I don't think his body can recover enough. But anyway, when you look at Jack Nicklaus's record, from what I heard, Jack Nicklaus had won 18 major championships and he finished second in 17. So what does that tell you about a record that can't be beaten? Right, so we're in the room. Tommy's already keen to get underway. Coldest Pillow is faffing around somewhere. I don't know where he's got it. Welcome to Tam. I saw that video, Tam. I watched it on my phone, but I think you'd already left the building. I brought it up on my phone while I was doing that live stream earlier. So what happened? In fact, I'll tell you what I never done. I meant to actually go and watch it properly on YouTube on my PC, but I never did. But so what happened was that if you were the opposing player, you played a shot where you potted, or you scored a point, and the 3-ball rolled and finished on the one spot. And when the one ball went down in the hole, the way I'm understanding it, though, when I think about it, if it was you that rolled the ball in, was it a foul? And then the 3-ball finish in the spot, that's the bit I don't quite understand. Because all that would have meant is that you were still at the table. Right, you were in 100. Hang on a minute, I can't read this. Left, ball in the pocket, failed to sink, cue ball. Right. So you potted the one, trying to scratch off the one. I get it now. And so you missed the scratch. The cue ball stayed in the table. The one ball went into the pocket, and the 3-ball was on the one spot. And so the one doesn't come back up. Now, all that would have meant, though, is when you think about it in a real game, that wouldn't have been a problem because the other guy would have just carried on at the table, unless you're assuming that the two of yous were on 100. I mean, I suppose that scenario is a possibility. Anyway, I've missed a lag. So presumably Tommy won that because he's about to break off. And he's going for the old heave-hole break like the one I do. But he's overhit that by quite a margin. And he's going to be locked in the 5. So if it's 100 each and then you tried to scratch and the 3 balls blocking the one spot, then it's a stalemate then, isn't it? Need to tell that one to Steve. I mean, let's be honest, he won't do anything about it because it's so rare it's unlikely it's ever going to happen again. I mean, I've never seen anything like that happen. So, right, Tommy's in, so he's got the first opportunity to score. So let's see where he's at in Cowboy. Oh, he's needs to brush that one so he can play a draw shot. Is he actually playing a draw shot? Yeah, he is. And he's missed the line. Now, here's my question for you, Tam. What I didn't know, this is why I need to go and look at the video again. In the act of trying to scratch off the one ball and the fact that you potted the one, did you, in the process of that shot, did you actually hit the 3-ball and the 3-ball rolled onto the one spot? Or was the 3-ball already on the one spot before you attempted the outshot? If you know what I'm talking about. I could see it being a valid glitch in the rules of the game. No, the one spot was already covered, right? So if you were in a proper game and you were thinking about the outshot, it must have crossed your mind that the one ball isn't going to come back up if you don't scratch. That's weird. You'll need to keep that video there so we can show Steve it. And you know, it's like I said, it's like what is it, Sod's law, you know, or whatever the other law is, that if there's a possibility of something like that happening, as rare as it might be, then that possibility can very well come true someday. So this is why, as I said, that in snooker, the rule that deals with that problem is that the ball comes up and it goes on to the highest spot available, like snooker. If its own spot is covered, and if there's no other spots available, it goes as close as it can to its own spot without touching it. Like I said, I'd be very surprised if Steve actually did anything about it, or whether there's actually anything. In fact, that's another one. There's bound to be written rules for Cowboy, but I bet you, I'm willing to bet a fiver that there's probably no rule for that spot being occupied, and the one ball coming back. I bet you there's no rule for it. Somebody can go and try and find proper. I don't even know that there's official rules for Cowboy. I think it's just a sort of generalisation. The rules for Cowboy, I don't think, you know, they're not world governed rules or anything like that. So they leave a lot to interpretation, no doubt. Although it's a fairly simple game when you think about it. But that definitely is one place that at some point along the line, as sure as anything, it will happen in a game. But here's hoping it doesn't happen in a World Championship. That's all I'm saying. Well, the thing is there official rules for Cowboy, alternate Cowboy? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much detail you could actually find online for this game. And in fact, I remember actually looking for Cowboy, maybe on YouTube, and I don't think I found very much information at all. Welcome to Interchange X. Easy, comfortable win earlier on. Well, the thing, you think about it, Cobra. Here's a scenario. You're 2 racks all, right? You're in the deciding rack and that happens. Well, you're certainly, I mean, you've no other option if there's not a rule for it. But as I said, the way to overcome that rule is that the ball does come up and it goes on to the highest spot available. That would be my way of resolving it. Meanwhile, we've had Tommyy at the table. We've had Coldest Pillow at the table, who's gathered 14 points. And now Tommy's back at the table. Goodness knows what the odds are in that scenario actually happening in a rack of Cowboy, but if there's a possibility of it happening, it will happen. I've no doubt about that. Well, the one ball going in as a bonus because that tees up a simple carom. Now, what you want to do is try and cut the one up towards the corner pocket. He's got it way too thin. He's still okay, though. He's got the one into the side now. What does he want to do? Does he want to try and roll past the 5, or does he want to do something with the cue ball? Because he's a wee bit restricted, being close to the rail. But if he can run through and avoid the 5, he should have lined up some sort of carom to follow. He's just running into it. You see, now if he'd run past it, he would have been okay. But now he's got a problem. Now he's got to make something here. What you're talking about, Cowboy? One thing I'm fairly certain is I don't think there's any tournament on YouTube of a game of Cowboy. Not that I've ever found. And, you know, if you start looking for literature on the game of Cowboy on a pool table, it's not easy to find. Coldest pillow. The force follow. And now the table is set. And this is a good opportunity here. He's holding the cue ball to go 5-1, which is fine as long as you keep that line. Now the 5 has gone a wee bit awkward. I think he's okay. He should be going forward to hit that long rail above the pocket. Well, he's actually caught the knuckles and was in danger there of losing them. He's got lucky. And now the more awkward an angle he gets, the more difficult the carom becomes, because you're trying to pick a line that you don't pick on a regular basis, and this isn't quite as easy. And now things are going out of shape. He's needing a recovery pot. And this is asking for trouble, because if he's potting the 5, he's going to run into the 3 more than likely, but he's playing it dead gentle. Ultra cautious. And at least he's still got a shot, but it's becoming more and more difficult. But one good shot and he can get himself right back in line. So the 1-0 spot. And either way, he's going to have an awkward carom one way or another. If he's going to roll the 5, and he really needs to roll forward and come back into the table, big time. What did I tell you? I mean, to me, that's the most obvious solution. Well, it says to the next available spot. Now, the way to simplify that is you could say the highest spot available, and then, whatever spot is the highest available, which case would be the 5. If you say the next nearest, then it goes to the 3. It's the only way I can understand that. So the next available spot would be the 3 spot if you're going to go up numerically. I mean, there only is 3 spots in the table, so all you need to say is it just goes on a spot. Doesn't matter what one. But the whole thing about Tam's point, though, is that there is no there's no get out clause for that in VP4, so that's been overlooked. And let's be honest, when we tested VP4, I don't think we did a hell of a lot of testing in Cowboy, to be brutally frank. It's only taken us like 13 years to discover that. Well, you think about it. It's all down to what ball's covering the one spot, isn't it? In this case, it was the three ball. The 5 ball could have been on its spot, for argument's sake, in which case then you just lob the 1 ball onto the 3 spot. But if Steve wants to have the game working correctly, then he would have to implement it. That in fact, he would have to go and read that rule himself if you found a paragraph that says that. I've never found anything like that. Mind you, I've never been looking for anything like that either, but I've been looking for videos or just general guidance for cowboy that I've found difficult to find. Well, the next closest to the 1 spot in this case would be the 5. Because it's not like, I mean, when you think about it, it's such a simple thing to actually fix, or it's such a simple solution to actually implement. How difficult it is to implement and how much code you have to put in, goodness knows. But as I said, I don't think Steve will even bother his backside about it, really, because it's very, very rare that will happen. That's the way he'll look at it. It has to be more precise. What has to be more precise? As the 3 and 5 could be on spot while you sink the 1 and hold the 1 spot. Right, well, now, if that's the scenario you're talking about, if the 3 and 5 are on their spot, but why would you be... No, but you're forgetting the overall scenario, Tam. The overall scenario is that you're trying to scratch in the 1 ball. You're not trying to hold a spot. So that sort of nullifies that argument. Napnicker said if the 1 ball cannot be spotted for a player on 100 points, all balls are reset as at the game start and the player shoots from the kitchen. Well, if that's the case, then if he's needing the out shot, he's got an easy out. If he's got ball in hand in the kitchen, all he needs to do is draw off the 1 ball to get out. So it's a setup with that solution. It has to be, but it has to be when we're not talking about when both players are on 100, because both players aren't going to be potting any more balls other than trying to get out. But if the solution is to re-rack the balls on their spots and give the guy ball in hand in the kitchen, then all he has to do is call a corner pocket and draw off it and get out. The other guy's going to be well pissed. Anyway, what's happening in this rack? Well, we've got Coldest Pillow already into the caroms. Tommyy a long ways behind. See the argument you've caused, Tam, for this bloody video. After I filled, then all 3 balls are spotted. Forget the score. You had to play for 101 and there was no yellow because the yellow stayed down, but we've already established what the solution is for that. It's the fact that VP4 doesn't do anything about it. That's the main problem. But it's all Tam's fault. I mean, we'd all been going on fine There'd be no arguments about Cowboy, but he has to come up with a bloody video. He's probably been at that for 12 years trying to create something stupid like that, and he's finally succeeded. he's finally come up with a bug. And it's really not a bug, it's really just a rules infraction by VP4 that it has no understanding of what the situation is. And that's Steve's fault for not looking into it deep enough. He's to blame. So I'll make sure I'll remind him of that when we see him again. And then, of course, I'll say this is all to do with Tam. It's nothing to do with me. I'm merely a messenger. So don't shoot the messenger type thing. Right, so, Tommy, see, this is the difference here. Tommy's realised the situation. He's got a chance. And Coldest Pillow's only 91, and Tommy can be breathing right down his neck in the next few minutes here. So we might have an interesting end to this first rack, which is more like what we're actually looking for in these matches. Not some deadbeat stuff going on where there's nothing happening and they can't score. And there's been too much of that, quite frankly, that we've seen so far. In fact, here's a point. Don't show Steve the video. He's probably, even if he does get back long before there's a final in this tournament, I don't think Steve's really that interested in watching a final of this. It doesn't grab his attention. But the point is that we should just put forward that analogy to him and see what he says. Steve, what would happen if both players were on 100 and one of them's trying to scratch and he doesn't get out, but he pots the one ball in the process, and somehow there's a ball sitting on the one spot? What happens then? I bet you get a blank stare. He'll probably say, I don't know, I wrote the code. He'll say something like that. Well, it did take a while for them to get spots, but if you hound them long enough and often enough till you're blue in the face, I mean, I had to tell him I wanted white. I wanted white chalk in the tables rather than black, especially for the snooker. So he came round to my way of thinking and that pretty sharpish. I have to give him credit for that. I said, I want the light, because he originally had black lines in the snooker table, and I said that's no good. The pro tables are all done in white, and I would like it in white. So he changed that, and then after a wee bit of ranting, he eventually decided to do it for the pool table. I mean, his solution eventually happens because I begin to annoy him so much that he'll eventually do it. But anyway, you definitely need them because it gives you an idea of where the ball's actually spotting and you don't have to bloody guess. I mean, make your life a wee bit easier. Because then you could decide whether you want to pot that ball, if there's any value in just potting the ball when you know it's not going to actually go in its spot. Or whether that ball, if you pot it, it will come up, and if it does, if you do think it's going to go in its spot and the other ball's next to it, then you know you've got a guaranteed carom to follow. Well, Tommy, on a run of 48 here, he's got to be careful because this is going to be painful if he does something daft. And he's been ultra cautious there. So a very good response from Tommy, and that's the kind of stuff that Mark Sharp should have been doing today, but we haven't really seen responses from players, but Tommy looks as if he's up for it in this first rack. And that sends a message out to Coldest Pillow. And Coldest Pillow trying to get the spin with the cue ball onto the 1, and he's banked the 3. The 5, sorry, not the 3, but he's actually left a carom. Now, if you hit this thin, you'll avoid the scratch because you're going to go 2 rails and try and hit the 1. If you're going to try and go direct, you've got to be careful here. Yeah, that was a shot, but he just didn't get it high enough. He went too shallow into the corner and it came out. But again, he's not left anything really simple. But this is one that you should still get if you're a Cowboy player. Send a 5 down towards the 1 and send the cue ball up to that rail in the 3 ball. Got to hit it hard enough, though. And he's totally misjudged that. Well, that was not a good attempt there by Coldest Pillow, because if he'd played it right, that 5 ball would have went thicker off the rail down to here, and the cue ball would have spun to the rail and hit the 3. So he got that all wrong. So that was something that he should have got. Again, you should expect to get that 9 times out of 10 if you're a Cowboy player. It's such a big target to hit. And Tommyy still trying to get that vital 1 point. And suddenly, the caroms are not quite as easy as they might look. Well, Tommyy now should be he should be in the lead here after this visit, because if he just drops the 1 in, dead weight, he'll stay there, or even if he comes up in the parallel line along the kitchen line, he would have the 1 to the 5. And he's just gone a bit too heavy. He had to hit it softer than that, but he can still go 2 rails. He could do the big heave-ho draw and try and draw to the 5, but that's sort of out of control. But if you pick the line, see, this is what he's looking at. You look at how much you can take of that 1 ball to try and visualise the line to the rail and onto the 5. You just got to make sure you don't pot the 1. And he's just gone a wee bit too narrow. But that's a perfect example of looking at the tangent line off the 1 ball to the rail to get to the other rail and get that 5 ball. And, then you've got to decide whether it needs any help in English or anything like that. But it's given Coldest Pillow an opportunity. Now, the shot here would be off the 3 ball to the 5. I mean, if you start banging stuff to get the cue ball to stun over to the 3, you're getting an awful lot of movement in the object balls. But it's a thin edge, and just clip that rail. Still not in great shape, but 1 good shot would do it. But the problem is the 1 ball. The 1 ball's not sitting nice at the moment. And he's miles away from it. You can certainly miss the side pocket here and try and come down in the 1. Well, the first thing you make sure you're doing with this shot is that you're catching that 3 ball thick, because you want to send it around the table and spin to there and punch the 5 out. That'd be one way of doing it. Again, it's a risky shot because you're getting an awful lot of movement in the 3. So he's went for the safer route and he's got a little gather, and that's well thought out. 1 ball still, of course, isolated, but if he can play the double kiss here, well, he didn't. I think he should have maybe went for the double kiss. You can still nick this, though. Just send the 3 around the back. You need to make sure you've got enough top on this. You don't want to stun it because you might not get there. Now there's a problem. The problem is that the line's very dangerous to the pot here. It's very close to the pot. But he's maybe going for the old 2-3 railer here. This is my territory. This is a shot I love. A very dangerous shot, very risky. I think he's gone narrow, has he? Is he going to get to the rail? Oh, hang on. Well, he hasn't. But the 5 ball's almost dead. 93 apiece in this first rack. Right, let's have a look at how we can resolve this situation. Well, the obvious shot to me is, let me have a look, is very thin on the 3, very thin, and onto the rail and catch the 1. I don't see any problem with it because you're not going to be doing any major damage as long as you play it at a dead weight. That's going too soon. Has he caught it? Oh, I think he's missed it. Just missed it. Now, well, good luck getting this very thin. All he's going to do is kill the 5 ball even more, but can he spin this and avoid a double kiss? I think he might be able to, but he's got to try and keep the 5 ball out. He's got to send it to the knuckle. Well, it's a point, but he ain't getting anything else out of that. Now, in this situation, I'm always looking for an opportunity where I can play a pot in that 5 ball and not leave anything easy to try and get the 5 ball back and play, because as long as the 5 ball stays there, this is going to drag on for a while. And also the other thing is that if you're the guy that's in front, you're loath to actually pot the 5 ball. You want to make your life the life difficult for your opponent. However, what you're doing is you're leaving your opponent with a safe place to put the 1 ball, up in that corner of the table. If you end up in 100 and the other guy's actually thinking about what he's doing, he can easily put the 1 ball up in that corner and force you into having to make a 2, maybe a multi-rail shot to get out, which isn't easy. So it's not to either player's benefit to keep that 5 ball there. The problem is, if you're the chasing guy, you've got to pick the right time to make that move. And Tommy's now in control at the moment, and he won't be touching that 5 ball, I guarantee you that. Well, if he is listening, then he needs to take on board keeping the 1 ball safe. He needs to take that on board. See, now's not the right time to pot the 5 ball. But there are ways of manipulating the situation using the kitchen. That's all I'm saying. We might be in for an interesting evening here, going by this first rack. It's promising. I don't know that we're going to get a high run tonight, but it's promising. And a good effort there from Tommyy. Well, you can play the 1 ball into the long rail and go to the short rail in the back of the 3, not direct. But he's went direct and he's actually got away with it. One ball coming back down. That's not bad. Now, really, he wants to glance off the 1 and go that way. See, he's hit it full in the face. It's all about getting the carom right as well. See, if he'd glanced off the right side, he would have went top side and the 1 ball would have been there. But he's played the draw. It just means that the 1 ball's got more momentum in it. But nevertheless, it's 4 vital caroms that Coldest Pillow's got. Now, he's got to be careful. Well, this is where you cut and run, unless you're deciding you're going to be taking risks all night. I mean, he can, again, make sure he's cutting this to the rail and go to that rail to catch the 1. Got to get the spin right, though. Well, he didn't have anything on it, really, to help it. But anyway, that doesn't matter. He's got himself back in front. Tommy's got a slim chance here. Problem is, again, the cut angle in the three's very close to the pot, I think, to try and get to this one ball. Yeah. And as long as he leaves them this distance apart, he's not out the game. I think we can take it as pretty much guaranteed that that 5 ball's going to remain there unless the cue ball does that.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear. And Coldest Pillow's fallen into the trap. And Tommyy has been set up here with a 5-3. And that's how quick things can change. I mean, I was just saying there that the 5 ball may be staying there for the duration, but would you believe it? Coldest Pillow saw the gaping chasm and walked straight into it. So we are neck and neck. Now, the danger with playing the carom from the 5 to the 3 is that if you don't get the 3, you're more or less sending the 5 up there towards the 1. And that's where you've got to be careful. And if you go the other way, you're sending the 5 towards the 3. So you got to think this out before you move. That spin needs to work. It looks good. Excellent. Now then, one more carom. Well, the force follows definitely on. He's just got to get the line right. And that might work. You might need to go a tiny tad more. I think that'll be about it. And if he gets this, the 1 will be coming somewhere into the middle of the table. Oh, yeah, this might be very good. This might be very good if it keeps going. Well, it could have finished worse than that. He's got the outshot into the corner. Although he's stuck to the rail, that's part of the issue. He needs to jack up a bit here to get the big stun working. I take it he's called this pocket. Is he calling up the table? He's changing his mind. He's going for the thin edge. Now, again, the problem with this is, he needs to hit this for it to take that line. I think the line's going far too shallow to the rail. It's going far too shallow at this angle, I think. Commentator's eye. He needs to get this thick. Well, that's brilliant. I didn't think he had it, but I'll tell you, he's picked it. He's picked the right line off that edge. It looked as if it was going to go narrow, but that's an excellent outshot. So, Tommyy wins the first rack, and that is after 39 minutes. A very, very closely fought out first rack, it has to be said. One of the better ones of what we've seen, because let's be honest, the fare that's been on display has not been of the best quality in a lot of the matches. Mainly because there's not been much great response in a lot of them. Not naming names, Tam, but some of the responses from players that have been behind have not been good. It's all been bits and bobs and frankly not good enough. Because you're not playing. What bit have I missed there? I've missed something there. Something about cause you're not playing, Hugh, but I've missed what the rest of it is. Oh. Well, Coldest Pillow, 21 on the board. He's going to keep them. Tommy's got he's got a carom or a pot to start with. Well, he's went for the pot, but he's not sitting great, but he can go from the 1 to the 3. Well, he's forced into taking the 1 this time, so looking for a line from this 5 to the 1. Now that's too high an angle for the sucker scratch, I think. This is more like a half ball, but not hard enough to scratch. Well, that was like a 2/3, but it's fine. You can get the 1 in its spot. I don't know whether, I mean, in this case, he looks as if he's going to go either 5 and stay above the 5 to get the 1. He's not, he's deciding he's going to go 5-3, staying parallel with the 5. Yeah, I'm all for getting that 1 ball back in the spot to get it into play, and he's actually missed the carom. So Tommy's response, well short of the mark, only 13. And Coldest Pillow gets the pot and also the carom, so the table is now open. And that's staying above the 3. Now, if he comes half ball off the 5 ball, he should be rolling down for possibly the pot and the 1. And that would get everything sort of back into some sort of order, but he's hit the 5 full in the face, see, so now he's got a problem. And this is why I would have much preferred to have got the 1 on its spot a couple of shots ago when Tommyy was at the table. But Coldest Pillow didn't fret over it. He just potted the 3, and now he can get the 1 in play. This is a bit touchy with the angle. So you cut the 5 in, but you've got to watch the weight of the shot, and he's running loose.
Where's the cue ball going?
Almost a disaster. Oh, aye, there's no doubt his strong point is potting, but you know that that's one factor that you certainly can use. And no sooner we said that than we've jinxed him. He's missed the 5. Well, I'm going to blame. Who am I going to blame? I'm going to blame Cobra. My chat's lagging way behind on my phone with this bloody chat thing. It's crap. Needs to miss the double hit. And he's got it. He would have liked to have potted the 5, but he shouldn't have any issue. He can pot the 3. And the line that the cue ball's going looks reasonably good. If he just lets it run out, this cue ball. He's going to be at a distance from his next shot, though. Now he's got a choice. He can go from the 3 to the 1, or he can go from the 1 to the 5. The 1 to the 5 is a lot more dangerous. But if you play it thin enough off the 1, you can go tightish to the corner and catch the 5, but it is risky. But if you can also try the stun, he's trying to go thin, and the inevitable has happened.
Where's the cue ball going?
So he suckered himself into that there, but it was a dangerous shot. So now Coldest pillow with ball in hand in the kitchen, and all he has on is either a 2-3 rail carom off that 3 down to the 5, or pot the 3. The problem with potting the 3 there is he hasn't thought about the cue ball really a great deal, I don't think. Or did he really want to be here? He's going to have to get this finish. He's playing the draw. He's using the one pocket slim technique. The big bailout is the draw shot. Good evening and welcome to Yamaguchi Taru. Or what time is it in Japan or Tokyo? Is it about 7-8 hours in front of us? Is it still what the hell day is this? It's Sunday, isn't it? It might be Monday morning there. What time are we? 7:45? It will be Monday morning. Meanwhile, Tommy's going to have to come up with a response in this rack as well, because he's fallen behind here early on. 40 odd points of difference and counting here. 3:30 in the morning. See, Coldest pillow would be good for the cowboy doubles in the morning because he doesn't hang around. I mean, we like to play at a decent pace. So he doesn't spend an awful lot of thinking time. The shot's either there or it isn't. And it's going to be the draw again. Oh, there's a bonus. So that's the points for the 5 ball going in, the 3 ball going in as well, and then the point for the carom. So that's a total of 9 in one shot. And they all count. Now this is dangerous. Again, he's playing it soft enough. Now he's going to have to get a recovery carom here in a second or two. Table's not sitting good. He's on, what is he on, 70? 79? Well, it could have finished worse than this. He's got a good force follow 5 to the 1. And now he's in perfect shape. 85, although he's going to be at odds here, so he wants to bring the 3 into play, but he doesn't want to smack these. He just wants to bring the 3 into play at least, so that he's got a follow-up pot, and he's made sure of that. That'll take him to 90. Doesn't need the extra point, though. Doesn't need the extra point. Now, that calls for a...
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
And that's somebody that wasn't really thinking there about what he was doing, because he's fallen into the old sucker scoring too many points routine there. And if anything, he's let Tommyy off the hook big time. And Tommy's got to take advantage here, just like he did in the first rack. He put I think it was a 48 he put together, and he needs to get right back in it, because that still applies the pressure to Coldest pillow. How many points did he lose there, by the way? I wasn't paying a great deal of attention. I was more paying attention to where the cue ball was going. Did anybody work out what he lost there? And so having said that, Tommy's lost the cue ball, so Tommy's not made the most of it. But what he has done is he's got all 3 balls in the kitchen. So Coldest Pillow, what do I do if they're all behind? Well, find out. And he's got a chance of getting a carom here if he goes straight up and down onto that 3 ball, because you never know. Well, he's just potted the cue ball. Tommy's already on 1 foul, and Tommy knows what to do because he's trying to do the 3-5 carom. This might work. Oh, that's unlucky. How close can you be there? In fact, he's not hit anything there. He's been up and down, missed the 2. He's now in 2 fouls. Now, if Coldest Pillow's got his head screwed on, he knows what to do, but he's not doing it. Oh dear. And you see, there's somebody that's not paying attention. Tommy was in 2 fouls there, and if Coldest Pillow had just rolled the cue ball into a pocket, Tommy would have had to play out the kitchen and hit something, and he could have won there by 3 fouls. And he didn't see it. There's no way you can be Mr. Nice Guy in any tournament. And if that was me, you know what I'd have been doing? I'd have been burying the cue ball, knowing that Tommy was already in 2 fouls there, having missed the hit on that 3 ball and 5 ball going up and down between them. And I would have really tightened the noose around his neck by having him to play out the kitchen, with a very strong possibility that he could have lost that rack there on the 3 foul rule. So now Yama says he posted a video on how to do this position. What position was that he's talking about? Was it 48 points you think he lost there? Yeah, that's not painful enough, Tam. You know, if he plays, well, he doesn't play this any other time during the year, but if you play Cowboy often enough, there's a lot of more hurt and pain to be had, with a lot higher runs than 48 to lose. But Coldest Pillow, if he watches this played back, then he should very quickly learn about the mistake he made there, not playing the deliberate foul, or the opportunity that he might have missed by not playing the deliberate foul. But anyway, Coldest Pillow has had a run of 24. I don't know that he caught the 1 there, did he? No, he didn't. So Tommy, back to square one. He's only in 13 and he needs a score. Well, the one thing that should be guaranteed is that Tommy should be focused on what he's here to do. He knows now he needs to put something together to keep his hopes alive in this rack. But when you're behind, you really need to get the 5 ball in play as quick as you can. It's the quickest way you're going to get racking up points here. If you're just messing about with the 1 ball and the 3 ball, it's going to be a long, drawn-out affair. Got to try and get that 5-ball. Well, he's certainly got a line up for the carom. He might be playing, again, the force follow to the 3, but this is not easy. Big distance between them. You've got to be picking that line, and a very, very fine margin for getting that line right, but he's nailed it. And now, if this 1 ball comes up the table a bit more, he may well be able to get this 5-ball in business here. Because he's looking at where the spot is when the 5 spots, and he's looking at the line to get to the 1. Well, this is not good. Now it's a very thin edge on the 5. Cue ball's running loose big time. And he's got to take evasive manoeuvres here to avoid a scratch. Maybe he didn't have the scratch line, but where he's finished with the cue ball has given him half a chance here. Again, looking at how much of the 5-ball he needs, he's putting maybe a wee bit of help in English on it, but it's, again, a big target to hit. So the line you're really looking for is to go into the rail and kick the back of the 3, but Tommyy is going for the 2-in-1 shot. He's going for the 5, and if he misses it, he'll hit the 1. And again, good thinking, because it gives you, with it being lined up like that, you've got you've doubled your chances of actually making a carom. If you don't get the 5, the line of the cue ball is going very close to the 1, and that was the right shot to play. But he goes and misses the 5-ball. Oh, that's a bad one. And DJ Simon is signed up for blackball. There's a surprise. Well, Coldest Pillow is the favourite to get to the carom phase. Can he do it in this visit? Gets the carom. We'll have a follow-up pot, and of course, if he double checks if the 5 will spot, which it will, he's going to have the easiest of caroms to keep going. And now, will he have learned his lesson from those points he lost in a previous visit? Because he's getting to that dangerous point where you have to keep your wits about you on what you're scoring and how much you need. And this is sucker scratch territory here. Half ball, and any harder than that, and it probably would have straightened up and went into the pocket. But he's still alive. Trying to leave the 5-3, which he has done. Now, again, this is dangerous. You've got to hit this half ball left side, nothing right side. And he's hit it fairly full on. Although it won't do any harm, he can still thin cut that in if he wants, but he can play 1 and stay below the 1. And the 1, of course, takes him to 90. And once again, it's all about the pace. This 5-ball might run into the 1, or it might bank and come back up the table, and he's missed a carom. Not easy to pick the line for the carom at that distance. So once again, the scenario is that Coldest Pillow has got himself to the carom phase, but he's not got any caroms yet. So Tommy's still alive. And one good visit, and he can be right back in this. I never noticed that. See you later, Tam. Well, we've just gone past the hour mark, an hour and 2 minutes. And we're just going, well, that first rack was over the average for a game of cowboy. It was about 40 minutes, wasn't it? Again, at distance, not easy. And there you go.
Where's the cue ball going?
Running loose again. When you run that cue ball loose, you're asking for trouble. And he got knocked into the corner. The points have gone. And all that Tommyy has to be thankful for that it wasn't 50 or 60 that he had. But it's given Coldest Pillow ball in hand, and he's set himself up nice here. He can get the 3 ball. Well, he's played the carom from the 5 to the 3. I'm surprised he didn't think about pushing the 3 down towards the 1, because that was guaranteed him a follow-up. This is no good. He's going to have to work hard here. But again, you've got to assess the situation and try and lead yourself into the next carom at this phase. You know, he's got that one, but everything's going to be hard work now. And the cue ball going to be let loose again. Well, his first shot there was the wrong shot there, Coldest Pillow. He had to play the one that was pushing the object ball down the table. I can't remember what one it was now, but whatever ball it was, he played the wrong one. So Tommy's got another lifeline. Now he's going to have to play a recovery shot. Now with this shot, you really want to go up table to give yourself a possibility of 2 shots here. Well, it hasn't gone as high as it might, but he's actually kept it low enough to make a fairly comfortable 1 to the 5. Now, again, you want to hit this fairly full. You don't want to glance off it. Or if you do glance off it behind it like that. Go the 2 rails. That's the safest route. Now, can he keep his points? He's only got 7 in this visit. He's a lot more. The only slight difference is Coldest Pillow's advanced himself by 3 in the carom phase. He's still not untouchable. He's not right on the finishing line. And there's still hope for Tommyy. Well, the 5 ball doesn't go in, but again, that won't bother Tommyy as much because it's of no use to Coldest Pillow, and it limits his opportunities with just the 2 balls on the table sitting in this sort of shape. Tommyy, of course, isn't going to do anything or win anything by leaving it sitting there, so he'll immediately want to get that potted and get it back on its spot. Well, that was a good effort. One ball's now gone dead. So Tommy might not be getting much here either if he doesn't get things resolved fairly quickly here, and it isn't sitting good. No, this is not going to work. He really should have got that cue ball right down the table here to open up for the 5 to the 3. And that's why he's only ended up getting the 5 points. And not only that, he's set up the carom for Coldest Pillow. So not a good visit by Tommyy. Cue ball was way short of where it should have been. There might be one more chance for Tommyy, but that will be about it, I would think. Yeah, that had to be very thin, that shot. So Tommyy comes to the table. What is he? 44 behind. Now, if he'd potted the 3 here and got the 3 back in this spot, he's trying to play the 3 and get the point with the 3 ball carom as well, and he's missed it. So now he's given himself more work to do. He should have potted the 3 and then followed up with the carom. But he's managed to get it. So there is a chance. It's fairly slim, but if he can put something together here, he ain't dead and buried yet, and he really needs to get that one in play. Yeah, I mean, if it's simple enough, and if the path of the cue ball's going in that direction, and the chances are you're going to hit it, then fair enough. But to me, the simple thing was to get. The more important thing is get the ball on its spot and leave yourself good shape for a follow-up carom. When you start running the cue ball to get that bonus point, I mean, okay, but if it's your first visit, you're getting the open table, and that's fair enough. But I still don't think it's the best way of going about things. It's far better getting better shape in the table than it is riding everything to luck. It's actually, though, in cowboy doubles, if there's a chance to get that open table position for your partner, then quite a lot of the time, that's what we do. If we've got the chance, we'll pot a ball and try and get that carom. You know, if the balls are sitting in a reasonable line, we'll take the risk. Very often it doesn't pay off. Some of the time it does. And it's only just to give your partner an open table to try and really get yourself started. But I'm agreed with Cobra in the sense that if you're at the table and it's all down to you, you're not playing for anybody else but yourself. And in this case, it's far better to have a more solid position to pretty much guarantee your next shot. Now, that 3 ball is absolutely no good where it's sitting unless you stay below these balls here to bring it back into play immediately. But he's having to play the carom 5 to 1. And now he's killed a 5 ball out of the game. And now he can see enough of the 3 to pot it. And he's got to try and hit this fairly firm to get it out and above the 3. And this is easier said than done. See, he had to really get into that to get the cue ball across. So now he's leaving himself a long distance carom. High tariff here. The danger is a scratch into the left corner if you hit the one wrong way round. Is he going to come in the back of it? He might. Yeah. Takes him to 96, 90, what is it? 96. Well, he's... Oh, wait a minute here. What happened here? Did he miss that? I'm forgetting. It's Tommyy that's at the bloody table. I'm too busy looking at the table and not paying attention to the scoreboard. Well, this really is Tommy's last chance, I think. He's on 77. And he's going to try and brush this 5 into play. Well, it's a bit better than what it was. And he can play the 1 and stay below the 1 and play the 1-5. So he's lined up for the follow-up here. Well, I don't think he quite made the carom the way he would have liked to, but it won't matter. The way he's landed now, he's actually pretty good here to drop the 5 in and keep the cue ball there or thereabouts, knowing that he's got a fairly simple follow-up carom to follow, as long as he doesn't get dead in line here. And as long as he doesn't go too far, he's gone way too far. Now he's in the middle of no man's land. He could have played this a lot better. And this is in a very high likelihood it could break down here. And he's stuck in 85. And there you go. And that's a chance missed there. And again, just because he didn't control the cue ball properly there, he really needed to get that a lot softer to keep that cue ball under better control, because he got himself completely out of line. And Coldest Pillow has left the building. And we'll be back in a second. Well, Coldest Pillow is back. Yeah, when he says mouse was stuck on screen, if you disconnect your mouse in VP4 and then you reconnect it while the game is up front on the screen, very often the mouse cursor is left on the screen rather than your little cue stick, and it won't go away. And the only solution I have for that is to tab out, and to really guarantee it should work, you then open up a second desktop, disconnect and reconnect your mouse that way, shut down the second desktop, and then bring back VP4 to the foreground, and then it should work fine. But anyway, back to business here. Tommyy has got himself to the carom phase. Now, this could be a steal here for Tommyy. Well, the 3 ball's running loose, but the more important thing for him is he's got the 5 and 1. And where the 3 ball has gone is very handy. And if he plays this right, he's got to watch how he's hitting this. Well, he's going the other way. He's got to look for an opportunity to try and get one of these balls over that direction. He certainly needs something up there closer in this situation to try and continue the run. At the moment, it's just about keeping this cue ball in play and making the carom to the 5. Now, this 1 ball needs to keep rolling. Now, that has given him a chance, but it's a dangerous one because you can go thin off the 1 and you're going to go tight. It might be too tight. He might be trying the crossover bank, cut the 1 to the short rail and come across to the 5. That's a lot less dangerous than the one I was talking about because that's too tight around the corner to get to the 5. And he's going high. And with that line, the only way to control that line is by checking the cue ball with a bit of left English so that when it hits the rail, it straightens rather than opening up as much. I don't know whether putting a wee bit of left on it would actually help him a great deal, but the line was tight. And meanwhile, Coldest Pillow playing the carom. The object ball goes loose, results in a foul, and the 1 ball gets spotted. And again, just got to watch how much of the 1 ball you take here. And Tommyy should have a carom to start him off, as long as he's not sending the 1 directly over the other corner pocket. And now it's very ugly. He's trying to send a 5 up and around behind the 3 and draw to the 1. He's got the 1. Oh, now this is pretty good. He can go right side of the 5, go to the rail, kick the back of the 3, but I mean, there's no real danger in this shot. I don't know. He's not looking at it. I'm very surprised. I mean, that shot there is thin. Go to the rail and kick the 3. Well, that was a lot more long odds than what I was talking about. We'll watch the 1 ball.
Where's the cue ball going?
We need to get where's the 1 ball going, because the 1 ball is now dead. I still think my shot was a far better shot to actually get that 3 ball properly into play. And all Tommy's done is just shortened his odds, or lengthened his odds, I should say, by pretty much killing the 1 ball out of the game. And now the 3 ball's in no better position either. But he can go to the short rail and catch the back of this 3. He's got to watch the pot and the 5, though, in the process. That's the problem with it. He's got it right, but that's it. The 5 ball's now almost out of the game. Well, it's going to be tough going to finish this rack, I'll tell you. But Tommyy is there or thereabouts. It's anybody's rack. Now, this is a thin edge with loads of left English because the cue ball's going to open out a bit more to that rail, but I don't even know that that's on, and Tommy's not taking any risk. Quite right. I mean, 1 point is so vital at this stage. And rather than doing something totally crazy, he did the right thing. You know, just leave an ugly table. Now, what Coldest Pillow could do, now somebody's got to take a risk. And if this is me, I'm potting the 1 ball. And I'm going to take the risk. I'm chasing, I'm potting the 1 ball. Well, Tommy's done it the other way, and that'll work as well. Because the odds are that if Coldest Pillow tries to get a carom to any of these, he's more than likely going to pot one of them. Well, he could pot the 5 and just come down into the kitchen in the bottom right-hand corner. He's not going to leave anything on doing that. I don't see any problem with that shot. Well, that's worked out a treat. He's managed to get the carom and he's managed to keep it out of the pocket. That was a brave one. Well, is he going to be crazy like me? Because I would be still doing a 3-reeler to that 1 ball. I'd still be going for it. I'd be trying to drop onto it dead weight like a mug and knock it into the hole. Right. We've got Tommyy on 97, Coldest Pillow on 96, and he's just squared it up 97 apiece. Well, let's face it, whoever is going to get the outshot is going to have a fairly easy one if the 1 ball remains where it is. And Coldest Pillow's just maybe got too much English in that. And Tommy's got a 2-reeler if he fancies it. Got to get this 5 ball very thin, I think. I'm not sure. No, I'm pretty certain he can get this. Yeah. Oh, he had the right English on it. Did he need as much? Did he need as much? That's why he's ended up going behind it. $97 all. And Coldest Pillow's got too much into the cue ball. This 5 ball's coming up into play. Well, Tommy's going to have to take a risk here. He's either going to try and bang this 5 ball and draw to the 3 or slam the 3 and send it around the table and come into the 5. But either way, he's going to have to play this with a wee bit of pace. And he's got the edge of the 5. Where's the 3 ball going? Well, that's dead in the water. Well, I don't fancy your chances for getting out now, Tommyy, where that 3 ball's finished. Oh, big risk, and it's gone in. And look what he's done. He set the 1 up. The 1 goes in its spot. And it's an early Christmas present for Coldest Pillow because he's got a chance to get out here. Now he needs to go by the other side of the 5. Well, it hasn't quite. That needed to come off the rail a bit. He's going to be hard pushed to get this cue ball onto the 1. Let's have a look at the 5. Well, this is dangerous as well because if he's playing to the 3, he's sending the 5 out into the table with a shot lined up to the 1. This looks good though. And he can go inside the 5 ball to get to the 1. And that'll take him to 100. And if he plays this right, he should be set up for the outshot. He does not need to hit this hard. This is dead weight. Just get to the rail and brush the 1. You should have an easy out. Too heavy. Too heavy. He can still do it though. But a touch like a sledgehammer. That was far too heavy. He needed to be a lot more delicate, but I think he's still fine. This to square the match. Oh dear, no. No. There you can tell that's somebody that's never played an outshot in Cowboy. That was terrible. That was a horrible effort there. Far too much draw. That needed the pace and the stun to work rather than trying too much draw. Well, there's a chance missed. And is he going to live to regret that? And Tommyy, all his eggs in one basket here because he's got a 1 to the 5. He's just got to hope that Coldest Pillow's going to be struggling in the outshot. And from that evidence there, I think he is. Oh, it's not opening up. Well, there it's handed in a plate for you. I mean, this is out every day of the week. a straightforward follow through, and we're going to be one apiece after 1 hour and 26 minutes. It's going to be a long night, folks. Oh dear. Oh God, man, that that was terrible. Let's have a look at that line. Look at the line. That one ball was going into the pocket. That's how you play the force follow. It was so straight, it was a force follow behind it. And he's overcompensated big time there. That was pretty much a gimme, that outshot there. Oh, Tommy's handed him in a plate, is he? Pretty much so. One ball on its spot. Draw straight into the corner pocket, or a force follow into the side. And this time, it's way too easy. So, like I said, after an hour and 27 minutes, we're at one rack apiece. Settling for the long haul, folks. Tommy with the pot and the 3 ball. Is he going to get the bonus carom? Yes, he is. Open table. Not sitting great, though, but he can cut back the 5. And Tommy had the chance. I mean, he didn't get to the 100, but he most certainly had the chance and might be kicking himself thinking he could be 2-0 up here. And now he knows it's going to have to go at least another, 2 racks. I'll have a quick drink. That perfectly well. I mean, if it was off straight, it was off straight by a margin. But that is one of the easiest outshots you'll have in Cowboy, the one that Coldest Pillow had, where he actually way overcompensated because there was no risk of the one ball coming off the jaws and coming into line of the cue ball. He seemed to think there was. If he actually just played that as a straight pot, the one was going in, and it's safe to say that even if you hit a jaw, you're still going to go into the pocket. It was so straight. It's so straight. And Tommy, well, what he hasn't done is got himself really in early control of these racks. He's only scored 16, and Coldest Pillow in the chance to redress that balance very quickly here. One ball should be the next thing to get potted. You see, this is dangerous because the 3 ball obviously is going to spot, and I think his intention is to play the 3 to the 1. Maybe not. But either way, he's leaving himself at distance, and this is again dangerous. Half ball and a 3 ball he's got to watch, and he's playing at a more safe pace. But now the table's a lot more uglier than what it was 2 seconds ago if he just potted the 1 and brought it into play. So now he's at a loss as to how he's going to go about this because the table's ugly either way. He's doing the right thing and trying to get below the 1, and now he's going to have to dig out another long distance carom. Oh, Tommy, back at the table. The response from Coldest Pillow is 16 as well. So Tommy can drop the 5 in, just dead weight, and stay up top and leave the 5-1. Again, I've no idea what he's looking at. Let me have a look at that 5 ball. It might be touch and go whether he could thin edge that and it would drop. It looks dodgy to me. I think he's maybe doing the right thing, trying to force follow to the 3. He needs to avoid the double kiss, and he hasn't. So there's a no score from Tommy. And this is going to hurt. Well, it should hurt. Coldest Pillow should have a decent lead by the end of this visit. Well, would you believe it? Commentator's curse. He's missed the carom in the 3. And Tommy's straight back in. Just 5 scored. You can't take anything for granted in this game. You've got to keep your wits about you and keep your focus and don't just be casually playing shots. Things aren't just going to fall into place or handed in the plate for you. You've got to make the shot. But Tommy's got to make him pay. He really has. You've got to punish your opponent. It sends a message out. You know, I'm going to score given the opportunity. But again, with the amount of table time Tommyy gets, you can't expect that. You just cannot come back to this game and hit the ground running every time you do. Three needs to bounce, which it has done. Now, let me have a look. Well, he's got a choice. He can play the 3 and draw down below the 3 and try and get below for the 3-5. He could go up top behind a 1, but then he's got a choice of 2 shots. Well, the angle was not great. He's actually drawn into the 5, but it might not do him any harm. He's at least got a follow-up shot on, which is better than nothing at all. Watch the cue ball. Watch the cue ball
going?
Bye-bye. And he suckered himself again. You've got to watch the pace in them. Surely the little voice in your head's telling you that if the cue ball hits that half ball, it's going to head towards the pocket. You've got to watch the pace. And it's another sucker scratch by Tommyy. Oh, that was so obvious. So obvious. You've got to be switched on to that. And again, Tommy's missed an opportunity. And this is another reason we could be here for a long time, because if these guys keep scoring and keep losing what they're getting, you're ending up back to square one for about 2 or 3 visits. And that's another thing that prolongs matches, stuff like that happening. And all I can say is I'm glad I'm still on holiday and I don't have work tomorrow, because it's already getting to that dangerous time for me. It's gone beyond 8:30 and the brain's in switchdown mode. Now, even that shot there by Coldest Pillow was high tariff and dangerous, and he got away with it. Well, Coldest Pillow trying to get the 3 in its spot. And was that the wisest move he's ever done there? Perhaps not. Because he could have taken a different option there. And Tommyy, well, not in great shape here, but that 5 ball is very, very tight. So he's going to play the little stun to the 1. Now he's got to get this a little jab. Cue ball again, just glancing off and running loose. Always dangerous. But the vital thing in that case was just getting the carom and staying at the table with maybe a chance to get things in better shape. And first target is get rid of the deficit. So Interchange X still holds the highest run for the tournament. And surprised that it is still there. And I'll be even more surprised if it lasts the whole tournament. Well,
Where's the cue ball going?
Tommyy only gets 11, misses the carom on the 5 ball, misses the carom on the 1, and almost scratches. And all he's done is has got himself within 10 points, but how many might it be now? And we've not really seen a decent score yet from Coldest Pillow that he's actually kept. So somebody's really got to want to take control of this rack here. Pot the 3, get up top. Well, he's got the choice of 2. He can go 3, 5, 5 to the 1. 3 to the 5's the safer one. And wide either side, but not narrow. He doesn't want to be behind the 5, but he's left the fairly comfortable force follow here. And he's actually hit the 3 ball pretty well also. So he can pot the 3. He can stay right side of the table there so he can play the 1-5. Doesn't want to come down too far though. This is coming down too far. He wanted to see, this is the problem. If he's here, he's perfect. If he's there, he's getting too narrow and it has to go too thin. Now, you see, there's the problem. Problem now is he's going to have to dig out a pot. And that's simply because he's ran down far too close and he's shallowed the angle too much. You're much better playing that with a much more solid carom. Get that ball into play. Even if it's further away from you, at least you've got a better chance of the pot. But he's recovered with the bank. Going to need another good one, though. Well, now he's back in business because, you know, you drop the 1 in, you're guaranteed a 5-1 carom. If you're taking the 5 points, is it all for greed? No, he's got himself in good line for the 5-3 as well. It's shaping up now here to be a possible run straight into the caroms if he can get there. He's on 36. He's got a hefty lead. And he's going to put himself as strong favourite to win this 3rd rack, as long as he can hold it together and keep the points. Well, again, there's nothing wrong with potting the 3 and staying up top. If you go up top behind that 3, you've got a 3 to the 1, which is a big target off the side rail. He's went for the more difficult pot in the 5 to stay in better control, but that's the reason he's also missed the 5, because it was not a gimme. But he has done the most important thing. He's kept his points. He's got a hefty lead. All the pressure on Tommyy to respond. Well, that's a bad one from Tommyy. I mean, he's missed a fairly straight cut into the side pocket there in that 5 ball. And it's only a visit of 6. And Coldest Pillow's got a free run into the carom face here. And he should be there. Again, he's looking at the 5 ball for some reason when the 3 ball's the one to play, but he's played that too heavy. He's played that way too heavy. He should have stayed above the 3. Just means he's having to do more work with the cue ball rather than setting himself up more comfortable. You know, the liberties that the stronger potters will take in Cowboy is probably getting them into a bad habit where they're playing the cue ball a lot more loose, when the whole idea of this game is to keep this cue ball under strict control. And that might be a bad habit that Coldest Pillow's getting into here, where he is strong in his potting side of things, and he's taken a bit more liberty for the fact that he's thinking he can get away with it. And sooner or later, he will find out that that won't work. It has to be a lot more controlled. Now, 88 with an easy force follow. The problem now, though, is that takes him to 89. He needs the 1 point to get to 90, and the 5 ball's right in the way here. And he's going to have to take evasive manoeuvres to avoid that 5 ball, or he's going to lose these points. Vital that they are. Now, what's he doing? Is he trying to bank this? No, he's trying to cut it in the other corner. Excellent shot, and he has avoided the extra point. And it gets him to 90. Again, same with this. Got to watch that line of the 1 ball. Five balls now threatening to be in a dangerous spot, although it's still well available for a carom if you get desperate enough. Well, Tommyy now knows where he stands. He's going to get back to the table sooner rather than later, and he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to try and rescue this rack. That's another well worked out carom. Again, you've got to look for the natural lines in a lot of these setups. A lot of the time you don't need to do a lot of work with the cue ball. A lot of the time it's just how much of the object ball you're taking. Because very often the line is there, it's staring you in the face. You've just got to see it. But if he's going to do anything here, he's going to be running loose. Now, does he really want to do that? He's got 16 points. He's got 3 caroms in amongst him. So anything where he's running the cue ball is a high-risk shot. He's got to think he's favourite here. I wouldn't take any risk. You know, you could easily just roll that 3 ball to the long rail and, you know, although you're leaving Tommyy in, you're not leaving him a good table. And that's probably the right shot, and, you know, not taking a risk. You know, Tommy's going to get in, he's going to get some points, but it may well be too much for him to get right back into it on this precise visit he's got now, because he has to score, he has to stay at the table, and he's got to get as close as he can to that 90 to give him any glimmer of hope. And again, no sooner have I said that than bang, 1 point, and then the attempt on the carom and the scratch. And he's pretty much sold out to Coldest Pillow with that effort. Again, going direct to the 5 is always fraught with danger.
Where's the cue ball going?
Well, there's a sucker shot if ever you've seen it. Let's watch that again. Let's push the 5 ball into the side pocket. Why don't we? Why don't we look for another option? Oh dear. But either way, Tommy's been given another shot at it. And the thing about Cowboy is that shot that Coldest Pillow's just played, it could come back to haunt him. You just never know. But Cowboy's a game where things like that can happen. You do something daft like that, and, you know, an opponent that was miles behind, you know, miles behind 10 minutes ago, suddenly is breathing down your neck. That's a possibility. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's free and open for you to do it, Tommyy, if you want it much. If you really, really want it, you'll be trying as hard as you can. But then again, I don't think he's got enough table time really to prolong this visit. We shall see how it unfolds. Well, it didn't last long, did it? A run of 12. Coldest Pillow set up with a 5-3 to start. Now, this is really where you do want a double kiss in the 5. If you play the 3 to the long rail, a double kiss in the 5 wouldn't do you any harm if you play it at the right pace, because the 3 ball's going to come back into play. You've just got to watch the pace. Well, he's not got the double kiss. The 3 ball's not got to the rail, so once again he's going to have to manufacture something. Two rails into the back of the 3. And Tommyy has a chance to dig that 1 ball out. And it's another chance to get back into the game. Well, he's going to pot the 3 first of all, but he really should be. I mean, the line that he's sitting at the moment is a good chance to get that 1 ball out. Well, he can still do it. And again, if he just plays it at the right pace, he'll leave the 5 ball there for the potting. But he's got it too thin. Can still cut the 5 though. Once again, it's about judging the pace on this pot. It's about the cue ball, not the 5 ball, and that's pretty good. It was important they could try and stay above the 3. And he should have a comfortable follow-up carom. But once again, he wants a half ball, not full. And now he can pot the 1, stay below the 1. Strong chance of leaving a 1-5 carom. Again, it's all about pace. You don't want to be coming in the straight line behind the 1, and that'll be pretty good, that one. Now, the shot to play here is the 3 ball. You pot the 3 and you stay up top. Now, you're going to have a shot at one or the other of these 2 balls. They're in a reasonable line, and that would be the shot to play. Now, you see, he's made his mind up. He's going 5-1 because he was fairly confident in holding the cue ball in a spot that was going to give him a good shot. So that's fine. As long as you're 100% certain that you can get yourself on a pretty much guaranteed carom, then fine. But the safer route is to give yourself options. And again, same thing, get up above the 3. And that's good. That's pretty much where you want to be. And again, half ball in the 5, sends it down to the corner. So now he can pot the 3 and he's guaranteed the carom. Has Tommyy left the building? Tommyy might have... I thought he disconnected there. Well, again, he's looking at potting one of these 2. Well, for a second he was. You got to pot the 3. And you don't want to be doing stuff like that with the cue ball either. There was no need for that. That was very dangerous. And look at where the cue ball was headed. A bit silly. You got to keep it ultra safe when you're protecting points. And this is a vital visit in this rack for Tommyy. He's got to get his head screwed on. And I don't know whether this is any good. Well, he's going to have to dig out a pot. He's blocked himself off. With a 5 ball, he's got a cut in the 1 into the side. And he's got the long 3 ball. But either way, he needs a good pot to stay in control here. And above all, he doesn't want to scratch. He wants to keep the points. The 3 ball goes in. He's sitting good for the 3-5. Got to keep an eye on the scoreboard. What's Yama saying incredible about? Is that something I've missed in the chat from a while ago? Or Tommyy getting to this dangerous point in the rack. Got to keep an eye on the scoreboard. The run goes to what, 38, is it? Oh, he's playing the force follow. Oh, he's just grazed the 5 and no more. But he should be okay for the next one. He can pot the 5, pot the 1. Pot the 1, you leave the... And again, you've just got to gently roll this in. As long as you keep the cue ball left side of the table, you're pretty much guaranteed a carom 1-5. That takes him to 85. Now the problem is that he's going to play the carom 1 to 5, but he must keep that 1 in play there. He can't hit it too hard, but he's got to hit it hard enough that he's leaving a pot on. He doesn't want to kill this to a rail because he's going to have no follow-up pot if he doesn't. Well, he will, but he's going to have a dodgy square cut in the 3. He's on 86. The run is 41. But he cannot afford to lose these. He's got to watch how he pots this, that he doesn't scratch in this left side corner, middle pocket. And he's well away from that. He's missed the pot. He's keeping it safe, and he's kept a point, so he's within touching distance. And he's not left anything easy for Coldest Pillow. And this 5 balls flying around the table. Well, he's got 1. Takes him to 95, but it's going to be hard work with this setup and with the cue ball running so loose and balls getting banged. Anything can happen. Well, now it's awkward. Hampered over the 3. He's on 97. 3 caroms and counting. And we're now just a minute and a half short of 2 hours for this match. And we've not played 3 racks yet. Well, he knows what he should be doing. He should just be letting Tommyy come back to the table. It's vital that you still keep your points rather than taking a huge risk. Well, he's kept the points. He's on 97. He's in a strong position. But Tommyy, first of all, has to get to 90. And he was looking for the bonus point there. He didn't get it. He was looking for the little brush in a 5. Didn't get it. He's on 89. Little draw, but not too much. And the 5 ball coming down. Now, 1 good carom here. I don't know whether he can do the... Let me have a look at the 3. Yeah, he's very thin. He's got to go for the force follow to get to that 5. But the 3 ball is going to be coming around and possibly bumping the 1. Now, this could end up very good. And it hasn't. But the cue ball stayed in the table. 3 balls avoided everything and come down the bottom end of the table. And now there's a dangerous one. Catch anything of the 5 ball, but don't send it over the pocket. And watch the 1 ball as well, because it wants to head near the side. He's gone top side. 5 ball almost out of the game. He's on 92. And there's, again, no harm in leaving an ugly table for your opponent. But he's still hanging in there. And again, he's going to have to stun this. And the 3 balls running up and down. He's got to watch it. Try and get to this 1. He's missed it. And he's going to set it up. Oh, dear. Well, a free Christmas present here for Tommyy. No, did he get that? What the hell did I miss there? He must have feathered it. or I'm half asleep. One of the two. All right, English has done the trick. Oh, he's going to have to play the draw or the right English, right spin off the one. Needs to hit this 3-ball the right way, though. Oh, he's went round the back of it. He was going the right direction. He had to hit the back of that 3 there to have any chance of going back to the 1. And the run ends in 11. I thought it ended a lot sooner because I missed a carom that he made there that I never spotted. And either way, Tommyy had a chance. Coldest pillow goes to 99, and the 1 ball's coming pretty good. And he's got to drive this 1 ball to such a position where he's got a comfortable out here because he might struggle. Well, this looks good. Now, this is where you punch the 1 around the table. You can go thin, very thin. You've got to catch the jaw, though, but you can do it the other way. And he's comfortably played it. In fact, that was much more comfortable than it actually looked. So, Coldest pillow is going to take a bathroom break. And we'll be right back for rack number 4. Coldest pillow with a 2-1 lead in this race to 3. Quick look at these matches on the schedule. We have the match that's taking place at the moment. We've got Jose and Bankster tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. And I can't read that. That's better. And then we have Jose Bankster, as I said, at 5 p.m. Then an hour later, so these matches are clashing. We've got Mr. Fox and Miskin. I don't know whether Slim will be doing that one because he might be looking to play 9-ball Scotch doubles. And we've got Matt and Larry on Wednesday. And meanwhile, I think we're back underway in this match. Coldest pillow is back. He's broke off. He's potted the 3 and he caromed the 1 for the open table. And now he's got first opportunity to put a big score on the board here and try and take this match away out of Tommy's reach. So 2 hours and 5 minutes for 3 racks of Cowboy. And you know who has arrived in the room. Free ball may well go in. Oh, it's hanging over the pocket. Well, a chance to play the 3 and give the 1 a bump. Get it moving somewhere. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot. I forgot was on the bloody the schedule. My apologies. Sorry about that. I was too busy engrossed in what was happening. I wasn't looking at the stream. It's too late for me. It's well past my bedtime. I keep giving you excuses. In fact, I'll tell you what I need to do. I think I need to turn my fan on because it's getting a bit too hot in here. I need a bit of cooling air. That might waken me up a bit. Hold on a sec. Get that switched on. That might be a wee bit better. Just need a wee bit of a draft. Well, Coldest Pillow's amassed 22 points. I don't know that Tommy's got anything comfortable on here. Well, he's got an open table, but this is far too tight a line. Trying to get to the 1. And he's managed to fluke the 3. Well, you take everything you can get in this game. If you get a roll like that. Coldest Pillow's in a bit of a hurry. Well, the lead is building up here slowly but surely. I mean, it's only 20 odd points at the moment, but yeah, he's running far too loose with the cue ball, though. He's playing a very high stakes game of cowboy. It's always doomed to disaster. You pay the price for it in the end. And not getting in good shape is one valid reason for it. He's just amassed 17 points that visit. Table's not great for Tommy's visit. Having to dig out a pot to get in here. Yep, not easy. So Coldest Pillow's got away with one there. And likewise, he's going to have to produce something also because he's not got anything pretty. Let's see if we can deal with this arsehole that's in the room. Let's see if we can get something done about him. Hang on a minute. Because if he doesn't get out of the room in 30 seconds, I will see what can be done about it. Well, Coldest Pillow back at the table. Tommy's visit. Just 4. So, not good. I don't see anything that's been... Oh, aye, there he is. Did I miss it there?
Where's the cue ball going?
Did he just get tossed out the room? But anyway, he's out the room at the moment. Tommyy, 30-point deficit to try and make up here. Well, I think this is a big visit for Tommyy. He's trailing. He's not trailing in a huge amount, but what he makes here might have a big say in his survival and taking this to a final rack decider. If ever you're going to make a contribution, it makes a difference. Now might have been the right time, but again, no sooner do I say that, he's missed that one ball by a country mile, trying to get over on the right side to set up the carom. You know, the most important thing of all is make sure of the pot. Deal with the carom if you don't get perfect on it. But he's missed a sitter of a one ball. And his prospects are not looking good. Not now. And Coldest Pillow can really take this match. He can go a long way to taking this match away from Tommyy, really narrowing down his chances of stealing this second rack. Or the second rack, he needs to square the match, but Coldest Pillow's in a strong position. He has a lead, and a lead that he can build on and get to these caroms and get a start on them long before Tommyy gets near him. And although, you know, Coldest Pillow's potting's generally strong, I said it was more down to table time that was going to favour him more than anything else. And I think some of that might be true. But if Coldest Pillow's going to learn anything from playing in this tournament or trying to progress in it, he really has to keep things tighter and under a lot more control and be less loose if he can help it. You know, not taking risky shots, because you might get away with them one night, but then just when you really need that shot and you rely on it, and suddenly it all goes pear-shaped. But he's achieved one goal. He's got to the caroms. He's in a run of 37. And again, vital that he just keeps these. And this is going to take the same pattern as the last one, where he's, you know, sooner or later he might run out of line, and you don't want to take that risky carom. You just want to protect what you've got. Leave the rest up to Tommyy. And he's missed the carom there. Or did he? He must have just caught the back of that 5. That takes him to 40. It takes him on to 93. But again, very risky shot he just took there by running that 5 loose. And again, he can go to the 3, send the 1 up the table, and he's missed it. And that's probably a good thing, the fact that he's actually just missed a carom. So the run ends on 42. It takes him to 95. Not unassailable position, but very, very strong position. And looking like that maybe this match is maybe get maximum 20 minutes to go and not a lot more. Unless Tommyy can pull a run out here. He has to pull something from the hat, or he's gone. Well, he's gone to the 1 loss side, that is. Looks as if he's checking the cue ball up a wee bit. But that's a good enough line. Well, he's still in reasonable shape here. Again, doesn't need to slam the 5 and just needs to roll through. But he has to roll through far enough, and that, well, he got that part of it right, but he's forgot about the pot. Oh dear, how many could that have been for Tommyy? That's a bad miss. Okay, he's not left anything simple. But Coldest Pillow got second prize. And that was a very quick disconnect from Tommyy. Extremely quick. Just got kicked to the lobby. Maybe the server's playing up again. Maybe the quicker we get this match over with, the better. Well, Coldest Pillow managed to just get the 1 carom, and Tommyy has scratched off the 5, and this is a gift of a start, and it could be the beginning of the end here. Oh dear.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear. Well, Tommy's got ball in hand. He's still got a long way to go, but he's been given that lifeline. I think he's good to go. Yeah. Well, it can't be long now until Steve comes back. I don't think he's going to have that much longer away, but I don't know when that'll be. And Tommyy again misses the pot. Well, what he would do for that bit more table time where these pots were a lot more comfortable. Well, am I going to jinx Coldest Pillow again? Again, it should be the beginning of the end. If he can get these set up, good. This will take him to 99. He needs to get behind that 3. And that looks reasonable enough. Let me have a look. Well, that is perfect. And that's even more perfect. So this for game, set and match. An easy out in the 1 again. Pretty much almost identical to the last one, I think. Yeah, use all the pocket. But in it goes. And after 2 hours and 23 minutes, we've finally got a result. And, Tommyy, if he'd been at the table a lot more in VP4, he might have done a lot better. But Coldest Pillow goes through by 3 racks to 1. That takes him through to round 3. And hopefully this will have updated itself. Where are we? There we go. Coldest Pillow is now waiting on the winner of Jose and Bankster. And really, Coldest Pillow, in terms of potting ability, has got to be the favourite against either of those 2 guys. But that sounds a lot simpler than it might be. So that's what we have there. He knows who he's lined up to probably play next round. But if we look at what's left, in fact, we've got more matches on the schedule now because we have Jose against Bankster, which is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Then an hour later, we've got Mr. Fox and Miskin. And these are all either round 2 or round 3 matches. I don't know, but I'm not going back to look. We've got Matt and Larry on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We have the new matches on the schedule. We've got Tornado Tam and Interchange X next Sunday at 5 p.m. And that, of course, is the one lost side. And then finally, we've got Stub against VP Monster on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. So I should be around for that as well. So all of these matches are at reasonable times. Bear in mind, I'm going to be back at work as of this Tuesday coming. So that's all the ones left in the schedule. Good luck to them. And good luck to Coldest Pillow in his next match. And good luck to Tommyy if he's going to play his one lost side match whenever that comes round. That is it, folks. Thank you for your company. And take care, and we'll bid you good night. And we will see you again soon, no doubt.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.